I think we've got it now. All right, I'm gonna wait a few minutes to let the party people join the party. Oh, this one's gonna be juicy. I feel it loading now. I feel it loading now. It's a rainy day out here, so hey people! Oh shazam! Hope I don't fall off this damn table. Hi, honey. I had to restart because my audio was tricking off. What's up, Christine? Welcome to the morning message. Mm. Oh my God, you guys. I'm almost scared of today's morning message. Okay. I'm not gonna even hold you. I'm almost afraid. Almost. Still here. Happy to be here. I was really kind of bummed that I needed to this is kind of tongue in cheek. Kind of bummed that I had to reschedule, or not reschedule. I won't even say delay. I guess it's delay. I don't know the language. I'm sad I wasn't here the last couple of days. And we're going to get into all the things. I'm sure it's going to come right front and center. Ugh, my life, you guys. My life. My life is great until I get to these seasons of transcendence and transformation, and even it's still good. But oh my God, it gets real uncomfortable real fast. Okay? It gets real uncomfortable real fast. So before we get into all the things of the things, welcome to the morning message. I just came from the gym. Proud of me. Went to the gym this morning. Yeah. I told y'all, some of y'all knew. The last couple of days, let me start with an introduction. Let me just do this properly, right? Those of you who don't know me, my name is Allah-mi Basheer. Welcome to the morning message, where I share a live intuitive channel message in real time, Monday through Friday, typically 7 a.m. Pacific, 10 Eastern. And yeah, last couple of days I've been MIA because life has been lifing for me. Okay. Life has been lifing for me in all of the best and worst ways. And I say that literally. Big challenges, but big blessings inside the challenges. So I'm sure we'll get into it because it feels very related to the theme. If you've been trying to join this live the last couple of days, you may have seen the topic. Okay. And the topic is still what the topic is. It's been refined a little bit. But typically I get downloads around these topics, or I just pull from a haystack of options, topics, and I literally don't know what I'm going to talk about until I start talking about it. And that's true today. How you doing? And that's true today too. I don't know what the hell is about to come forth, and like I said, I feel a little bit scared. Okay, just a little bit scared. But I'm going to show up and do the work as I have been called and drawn and purposed to do. So before we get into that, anybody who wants to learn more about me, what I do, and how I be doing it, feel free to go to begreateveryday.com. Okay, so fuck. Let's just start with a profanity, okay? I know it's, for many of you, it is the morning. For some of you, it's the afternoon or the evening, depending on where you are on the planet. But I'll describe this message as the dawning of a new day, okay? As I lead into this channeled message, it is the dawning of a new day, folks. Hi, Phil. It is a dawning of a new day. Definitely for me. I don't know if you've had moments in your life where you get to like a tipping point where things kind of build up to a climactic, I don't want to say end, but end, which therein lies a new beginning. What's up, Najee? It feels like that to me. It feels like, and I'll get into the details, but I want to just describe the feeling. If y'all just hold space for my little feelings. I feel yet again that I'm entering a season of rebirth. And that doesn't mean that necessarily my life is going to look dramatically different than it has before, but in many ways it will. In many ways it will. I don't plan to stop coaching people. I don't plan to stop doing these intuitive readings or introducing people to human design and all the things that I currently do. But the way in which I go about it is definitely changing in real time. The way in which I go about a lot of things, honestly, is changing. And that's what happens when you grow. When you know better, you can do better. And when you start doing better, things change, right? Your mindset changes. Some of your lifestyle habits and practices change. Your communication and the way you engage other people might change. You know, the things you do for hobby or not might change. There's a lot of things that accompany the decision to stop doing things one way and start doing them another. And that's the season that I'm in. And okay, it is raining out here, so I might be moving around and doing a bunch of extra shit. So y'all just bear with me, okay? But that's the season that I'm in. Yet again, is I'm in a season of marked change. Okay. So how did I get here? I said life be life, right? I wasn't kidding. Um, yeah, full stop. Life be lifing, meaning life can issue us challenges, experiences, um, inconveniences, and discomforts that give us a choice. Am I going to keep doing things the way I've been doing them, or am I going to choose to do it now different? And that intersection, I'm at the crossroads of that in so many aspects of my life, from my business, my parenting, my health, my relationships, my social life. I mean, there's so many aspects of that intersection in my life in real time. Are you going to keep doing it this way, or are you going to do it different? So I don't know about you, but is it easy for you to change and start doing things differently? Even if you know it's in your best interest, even if you know the way you were doing a thing before didn't serve you and it didn't really, I want to use the language resource you. Like it didn't really pull out the best of you. You ever experienced that? I know I've experienced that numerous times over, most commonly in relationships, where I realize that how the relationship is playing out, it doesn't work for me anymore. And even though I know I need to do something different, it still feels hard to shift. And so I've gone in so many relationships, years and years and years on into a relationship that I know didn't resource me well. It didn't bring out the best in me. It didn't bring out all of what I know is in me. And that's just life, you know? They say some things are for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. And sometimes we think those things that are just for a reason are just for a lifetime, and those things for a lifetime are just for a reason or a season. And I've been faced with that in so many aspects of my life. And I want to couple that with other challenges that have come into my experience. Learning how to parent adult children, adults, young people. They're not children. When you're 21, you're not a child anymore, right? So whatever you call that, that's what I'm in. As I'm looking at my business and how I want to do things in more and more and more aligned ways, like finding myself doing things I don't want to do and doing things that I don't absolutely love. It's like an intersection. I can keep doing things the way I've been doing and not be fully satisfied, or I can shift it and start doing things a little bit differently. Yeah, what's up? Um, no. I've been visiting. Why are you asking me? And so I'm visiting, sir. I'm visiting. Okay. What is happening? I don't know. I got somebody that doesn't want me to be here, even though my daughter lives here and I'm visiting her. So I don't know. We'll see how this plays out. But yet another challenge. Am I going to do it how I would have done it before, which is be snarky and snappy? Or am I going to hold space for whatever his concern might be? I'm going to hold space for it. So that's where I've been the last couple of days. I have been self-reflecting, really practicing introspection. And I had needed to retreat to do that and to be in my own energy and in my own feelings and thought process and in my own healing. Long story short. So I'm back. And not only am I back, I feel like I'm 50 times more clear in some ways about why this particular topic had to linger for a couple of days. It came to me that I gotta change. I have some habits and the ways of being that just don't work for my life. And to have to confront my own self with that reality. And it's not just that it doesn't work for me, it doesn't work for my goals and my aims. If my aim is to have healthy, productive relationship and healthy, productive business and um, and to really be able to grow and spread my wings and live at that high flying place that I really desire to be at. If I want that, I've got to do things different. And I might imagine that many of you can relate to that. That need to, even when you may not want to, if you're being honest with yourself about how you show up for yourself or how you show up for other people, there may be time to pivot. And I don't know what that means for you, what that pivot looks like. It might be the way in which you communicate with people. It might be the way you show up for people in terms of support or provision. It may be, you know, needing to just bring more joy and fun and laughter into your life outside of work and occupations. But something has to change in order for us to grow. Something. So, yeah, today feels very aligned. As I've been reflecting on the parts of myself and the way I move in the world and the way I engage others, today I feel more aligned. And not aligned because all of a sudden a whole bunch of stuff has shifted. Really, the one thing that shifted is my perspective, my level of self accountability, and my commitment to really finding joy in ways that are my own, that are not attached to somebody else's vision for me, that are not attached to my tendency to cower and dim my light and people please. Like, it's not attached to anything else but what I really want for myself and my life. And that feels really aligned today. Yeah. Whew. So I don't know what y'all been doing the last couple of days. If you've been sitting in any levels of introspection, if you might have caught wind of this topic and started to ponder what it might mean or what messages might come forth, or even just challenging yourself to question what cycles need to stop. But that's what we're talking about today. What are the cycles that need to stop so that you can experience more of the quality and caliber of life that you really want? Yeah. So, um, yeah, that's where I'm at. So Christine says she's claiming her power, embodying who I want to and am to becoming. Yes, 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 and more yes. Yes, 1,000,000% to that, Christine. 1,000,000% to that, girl. You know, it's a real interesting thing when you feel like you're living in alignment only to be faced with yourself in a way that kind of surprised you. Like, oh my God, I do that? I'm doing that? I'm sabotaging myself? I'm doing that unconsciously and it's not serving me? Oh my God. It's almost like it is an awakening. It's very much an awakening. I have been awakened. Okay. I have been awakened in my own self accountability to like really take inventory. And that's what I've been sitting with is what do you really, 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 really want? Because me, the way I'm made, and people may find this really surprising because I am such a dominant personality. I am very forthright with telling people what I think and what works and what doesn't work and da 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 da. I don't always do that with my feelings, talking about how I feel about things or how things make me feel. And in fact, being an empath, it's very easy for me to overlook what I'm feeling and what I'm needing for the sake of a greater good. Like, I'm one of those people that I want the people around me to be good. You know, if there's something I can do to help somebody, I'm probably going to do it. And I don't always check in with whether or not I'm supposed to do it. Is that the most aligned way that honors me too? And so, yet again, I've found myself in this last couple of days of awakening. I've been really sitting with what do I really, really want, only to find myself really confronted with the fact that I've been making a lot of choices that have nothing to do with what I really want. I've been making a lot of choices that have to do with what I feel like other people need or what to serve other people. And it's a slippery slope. You know, we usually chalk those things up to kindness and consideration, thoughtfulness, right? And it is an element of that. But when we start, is that word again, when we start betraying ourselves and betraying our own truth and ignoring the facts of our own matter, man, that slippery slope goes downhill real quick. And so I've been sitting with that. And so there are several cycles that are stopping here and now, today, yesterday, for me. And as I share more of those things, maybe it will resonate for you too. Okay. So, so let's get into it. Okay. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel if you have not already. I appreciate you. Okay. I appreciate you. Okay. I'm resisting an urge right now, and I'm gonna work through it. Uh, I'm gonna work through it. I feel somebody's energy in my hemisphere. Not you guys. Somebody's energy here, but it's okay. Um, okay. So one of the cycles that I have been confronted with head on, as I just alluded to it a little bit, one of the cycles that I have agreed with myself for myself to stop is denying my own truth and my own feelings. And that shouldn't be that hard, right? Like, I'm in this body, I should, quote, be able to readily recognize when something doesn't feel good or when something feels misaligned for me. But I don't always recognize it right away. I really don't, because I have a heart that loves people and wants to serve people. And many of you do too. Without thinking, you jump to the rescue, you jump to the defense, or you jump to the support of people around you because it just feels like, quote, the right thing to do, without really checking in with yourself around what compromise are you making? What compromise are you making in order to show up for that person, place, or thing that does not align for you? Or maybe some of y'all got that figured out. I do not have that mastered. Okay. I practice self mastery. I teach the practice of self mastery. It's not self mastered, it's not finish. It's a process of becoming. Okay. It's a practice and a habit of becoming. It's like nobody is expected to be perfect and have it all right, have all the answers correct, and have no failures, flaws, or mistakes. Like, we are all humans in this experience, spiritual beings having human experiences. That's all of us, okay, myself included. So, in my good faith effort to kind of stay on track with myself and still honor the people and places and things around me, I forget to really pay attention to how I feel. And so, before I even shuffled this deck, I saw this card at the bottom and it says, process your feelings. And this is a cycle that I am stopping. The cycle is that I don't process my feelings. I don't honor my truth. I don't check in enough to know with clear precision what it is that I want and I need. And I want you to really notice the howling wolves. And I love that there's two, as we're in Gemini season, and I'm a Gemini. Okay. It says, the card says howl at the moon, in fact. Okay. So it's not just about acknowledging feelings, it's expression. Okay. It's expression. And sometimes expression is not necessarily to an outer audience, it's like ourselves first. Okay. Whew. So typically, I use my journal to check in with myself around feelings. And I do, I do. However, it just became clear to me that there are certain areas and aspects of my life that I haven't been checking in with myself around how I feel. And I haven't been writing about that and uncovering those truths with more clarity. And therefore, I haven't really given myself permission to process whatever those feelings are, and typically we don't have a problem processing feelings that feel good. Like, oh, this feels good. We rant, rave, and celebrate. Most of us give ourselves permission to be happy and find joy when we find it, and enthusiasm and excitement when we feel it, fulfillment when we know it. Like, most of us allow ourselves that kind of level of privilege. But when it comes to processing feelings that feel uncomfortable, feelings that somebody else may not agree with, um, feelings that may have um, at least the perception of a negative impact on someone else or something else. I don't know about y'all, but I'm not always good at that part. I'm not always good at that part, and I'm learning. I'm learning. I'm learning in my own in real time I'm learning what it looks like to carve out space for my feelings to matter. Yeah, that's a thing. You see, I grew up in an environment where it wasn't that people didn't care about me. I knew I was loved and I knew I was cared for. I was provided. I had provision, at least my basic things. But it wasn't an environment where people were checking in on feelings. It wasn't a feeling centered environment. In fact, it was just the opposite. No one ever said fuck your feelings, but it was kind of like implied. It was kind of implied that, your feelings are the last thing that are on priority list right now. We've got to do this or get that done or go here or be there. We got shit to do, to where your feelings may matter, but we're not really talking about it. We're not really going to highlight it. Okay. So, um, yeah, I am almost 50 years, excuse me, wow, 51 in a couple of weeks. I'm almost 51 years old. As I say, I was today years old when I started to really see not just that I don't process feelings, but to see in real time, yet again, where it has snuck up on me, caught me off guard, like, you're not really honoring yourself in that. I'm like, damn it, doing it again. So that's a conscious cycle that I'm ending. And the way in which I'm ending it is that I am checking in with myself more. And I'm asking myself fundamental questions like, does this bring you joy? How does this make you feel? Now, what do we think about it, Allah-mi? But how does it make you feel when you think about that? Because it's easy for me to just stop at the mental math. Things make sense, or there's a history or expectation, or there's an external reason why I should go and do the thing, even though it may not feel good. I override the feelings with the quote reality of a situation, only to then come to realize, girl, you're doing a bunch of shit that you don't want to do because it doesn't feel good. It feels heavy. It doesn't feel light. It doesn't feel harmonious. It doesn't feel like ease and flow. It feels forced. It feels like friction. It feels like trying to make something happen as opposed to letting things flow. And how do we let it flow? It's usually joy flows. Joy doesn't have to be forced. It just is. And it's like, oh, I want to ride that wave. But in order for me to get on that wave, I got to feel for it. Am I feeling joy? So much more I want to say about that. But the first card says process your feelings. When you're taking inventory on your life, when life is lifing, it's a good time to ask, how am I feeling? What am I needing? Am I focused on things outside of myself, or am I giving myself due process to acknowledge and be aware of what my experience is before I go latching on to everybody else's experience? Okay. And some of you may not have this particular challenge. I may be only talking to some of you, but you know who you are. You know who you are. When things don't quite feel right, but you go along to get along anyway, you know when you're doing it. You may override it. You may project, or what do you call it? Not diminish, not devalue. There's another word, I can't think of it. It's on the tip of my tongue. Can't get to the word. You get the gist. Okay. So that's a cycle that stops for me. Yeah, it's like it's not even just the knowing that I need to acknowledge my feelings. For me, it's kind of a two-part. And you guys, thank you. Discount. Discount. Thank you, Christine. Christine, can I just put you in my back pocket? We're BFFs. We've never met. We don't know each other. I don't know how you found your way here, but I'm so glad you did. Okay. because you're now a part of the family. Thanks. Discount is the word I was trying to get to. Yeah, I've been real good at that. People who are close to me would probably be real surprised by that because I have a boisterous personality. I run my mouth, I say the things, but I never say the things. Quietly behind the scenes in my brain, I'm doing math that puts everybody else in the forefront and not me. I'm working on it though. Okay. So it's not just about being aware of how I feel. Another part of it for me is, as I was just sharing a little bit about how I was raised, and in that experience, unconsciously adapting this belief. Okay, as we talk about limiting beliefs, outdated beliefs, I carry with me this belief that no one cares how I feel. And I say it all the time, or at least I used to. I have two kids that they were raised by a life coach, so it's like whenever I'm having a down day, they start coaching me. And they're really good. Those of you who follow my son's content, you know what I mean. I mean, like, I hear this kid talk, and I'm like, who are you? Where did you learn all this? And literally, he's like, I learned it by watching you. Like, you taught me. We've talked about these things, you know, and they be right. And they told me the other day, stop saying that. Don't say that. My daughter told me literally, in this house, which is her house, you can't say that here. It's not allowed anymore for you to say that your feelings don't matter and nobody cares. And I heard that for the first time. I don't know that anybody's ever said it so clearly as that. Like, to stop saying that. To literally stop saying that, because one, it's not true. And the more I say it, the more I make it real. And there was another layer that uncovered itself. Even if it is true, and I may be in community and in conversation with someone who really is more focused on their own agenda, their own aim, and they're not really focused and centered on how I feel, it's still not true that nobody cares. Because I care. Or at least I need to care, right? So there was like a whole come to Jesus moment for myself around my own feelings. It's like, stop saying that. My little accountability partners, my little 21-year-old accountability partners, stop saying that. And then the download was like, you've got to embody your own truth. You got to care. Even if no one else can hold the value and respect it, as she said, discard it. Maybe they do discount and discard it, but I got to care. And so the cycle of ignoring feelings, projecting negativity on it, and not embodying it, these cycles stop now. And if you relate to this, it's a good day for you to stop too. Stop saying those things. Stop ignoring what feels right and best for you or what doesn't feel right and best for you. Stop ignoring that. Okay. We still here? Let me just take a break. Stop ignoring your own feelings. The cycle stops here. All right, let me keep it going. So, why might one ignore their own feelings? Aside from a casual thing like conditioning, as I just described, how you were raised or how you were encouraged not to feel, or how feeling felt dangerous because it was too difficult. There was too many difficult feelings in order to, and you didn't want to sit in that, so you just stopped caring. You just kind of cut it off. One reason, aside from those, why people stop caring about their own personal truth is because they doubt the validity of it. It's like me saying people don't care. It's like me saying they don't matter. And me saying they don't matter is because I doubt that people will care. It's a vicious cycle. You see how that works? I ignore them. I say they don't matter. I project the energy if they don't matter. People match that energy and mirror it back to me like, may not matter. And then I feel unsure that they matter because it hasn't been validated by somebody else. That cycle stops today. Okay. The reason why we don't live in our truth oftentimes is because we doubt that we are worthy of said truth, or said reality, or desire. And maybe we've even got some evidence of it. Like I said, some people really don't give a fuck about your feelings. I'm not here to tell you the world cares because very often the world does not care. People want what they want, how they want it, and they're going to disregard your truth to get what they want. That's kind of how life presents itself to us. So self-doubt is a big part of this. And I'll add to it unworthiness. Because that's really, they're like close cousins. Self-doubt and unworthiness, they in the same car, driving down the same street, in the same cycle of despair. Okay, self-doubt and unworthiness, they are kissing cousins. If you are experiencing self-doubt, somewhere underneath there, you are not truly knowing that you're worthy of whatever it is that you're doubting. So if you want a loving partnership or relationship or connection, someone that really honors who you are inside and out, all of you, if you don't believe that's possible, then yeah, then you're probably going to not really look for it, expect it, or even act as if you deserve it. Saying things like, nobody cares about my feelings. That cycle for me ends here. Doubting myself and what I desire and what I deserve. That sense of unworthiness, that question of unworthiness, can I really have it like that? Can I really get what I want? Is it true that I can have it exactly how I want? That's what happens. We start questioning, is it possible? Is it real? Is it imagined? Is it something that I'm even worthy of? That cycle stops here. And here's something else. And we're about to get in the trenches. So see if you can go with me. Like this video if you're enjoying the message so far. Okay. What happens when we deny our own truth? What's another natural consequence of when we know we want or desire a thing that we are not giving ourselves permission to hold tight to that vision or even feel like we're worthy of it? Woo, and dare we not have somebody in our environment that's negatively reinforcement, like, yeah, I don't think that's gonna work. Or I don't know. They're like questioning your truth of what you know you want or how you want to feel or what you want to manifest or create. Like they're doubting it. What happens? You ever start getting resentful toward people? People who don't believe in you or people don't truly honor who you are or how you are? You ever start feeling a type of way? For those of you who have partners, I have a pretty supportive partner. But for those of you who don't have supportive partners or supportive family or supportive children, supportive community, and you know that what you really want is what you really want, but you downplay it because people around you maybe don't believe in it or don't support it, doesn't that start to build up a little quiet resentment? And it may not be like, big and bold, like, oh, I hate you and fuck you. It may not be like that. It comes across in like passive aggressiveness. When you don't feel like people are really honoring who you are or how you are, it shows up in quiet ways sometimes. What we call passive aggression. Okay. It shows up in snarky comments. It shows up in displaced anger. It shows up as frustration. It shows up as disassociation or rejection, alienation. Hell, it may even show up as abandonment. You're like, I'm cool. I don't even want to be around. It shows up in a myriad of different ways. Yeah. Crystal says resentment. Yeah, absolutely. And here, and like, who do we have to blame if we're not living in our authentic truth? Because I literally just made a post something around this. It's like we try to blame everybody else, like it's their fault that you're not keeping it real with yourself and honoring your own feelings, but it's their fault because they should have asked me, or they should have noticed, or they should have cared more, or did more, or gone out of their way for me. It's like they should have encouraged me, and many of us do this with like our families. Okay, it's like we only have ourselves to blame. Yeah, Crystal. It's like you didn't speak it, so how would anybody know? For one, how would they know? You say they're gonna know. No, not necessarily. We're not honoring our own truth. We're betraying our own truth by not speaking up, by not being more direct, not being forthright. And then we want to go into this cycle of anger and projection at the people around and outside of us like it's their fault. No, it's not. It's not even your fault. It is your responsibility. It is. Because what happens is you do build up that anger and frustration and resentment and all of these other negative emotions that we project onto other people. And we say, you're the reason why I'm not doing X, Y, or Z. And it really just boils down to our choices. So, something else that I have learned in the last few days is I've really got to not just honor my feelings for feeling's sake. I got to honor my truth so that I don't start to embody resentment and anger and hostility toward people who didn't even know what I wanted or needed. That cycle stops today. And why? One, it's not fair. It's not fair. And two, it's not aligned. It's just not aligned. Even if there are conditions where it may feel difficult to express your truth or keep it real with yourself or be open and honest. And trust me, I've been in conditions like that where it doesn't feel safe to say what you really think or feel. My own daughter, we were having this conversation last night, and that came up, that it doesn't always feel safe to say what she really thinks and feels. And I get that. I mean, the parent child dynamic, that's a thing. And I had to hold her truth. Like, yeah, I can see that. And what can I do to help blend that edge a little bit to make it safer? What do you need from me in order to make this feeling more fluid? Like that's the level of self accountability. It's not, oh, she needs to be different. Da, 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 da. No, she doesn't need to be different at all. She could choose to. Cool. But that self accountability, you guys, and even for her, self accountability. If you don't say it, nobody will know. Okay. That's really important because when we don't hold ourselves accountable, we end up displacing that responsibility onto other people. And then we start building up resentment and unforgiveness and hostility. And it's all displaced. We have nobody to be upset with but ourselves. So for me, the cycle ends here. Yeah. She says, ultimately, we are not being honest and integrity. That's a great word to insert here. Integrity. Yeah, integrity. As I call it, the spirit of keeping it real. Okay. Integrity with ourselves. Man, and when you lose integrity with yourself, whoa, it's easy to get lost. Now you're living a version of yourself that is performative, that is not meeting the needs of what feels authentic and genuine and real for you. You're just going along to get along, and in many ways, just to keep the peace. And for many of us, that's a survival skill that we had to master as kids, to go along just to keep the peace. Again, it's no one's fault, but we got to be responsible for ourselves and our own reality. How are you contributing to your own reality, the outcomes you're getting in your own reality? It's not everybody else's fault, even if they are influencing it. It's your responsibility to change. Woo! Okay. We having a good time? I'm really grateful it's not raining. It was raining real hard before I got on this live. And as soon as I started it, it stopped. All right. What's up, Sue fam? So we got the card that says message of love. Okay. And this deck is designed for you to oracle your own message when you see a black card. Okay. What comes to you? What's the first thing that comes to your mind when you hear message of love? What's the message of love that you need to recognize in this moment as we're talking about cycles that need to end? Okay. What's the message of love? I'm hearing I love you. I'm hearing I love you. And it's like me talking to me, but I'm sharing it out loud with you. It's like self-love is where this is going for me. Where is it going for you? When we think about honoring our own truth with integrity, that's essentially what it is. It's an act, and I'm hearing a radical act of self-love. A radical act, meaning sometimes you might have to be courageous enough to choose you. Courageous enough. It's not about taking a risk or taking a gamble or betting on yourself. It's being courageous enough to honor what you need or what you want or what you desire, what you deserve. Courageous. Not crazy, courageous. Okay. So that's what I'm hearing, is that it's an act of self-love to keep it real with yourself, to honor the truth of your own reality, the truth of your own desires, the truth of your own ambition. It's like the courage that it takes to stand in the face of people who may not agree or may not support you, or even worse, will give you negative feedback and backlash for you choosing you. It is an act of courage. This is something else I'm unlearning in real time. In real time, I'm learning how to choose me and not guilt myself or judge myself as being selfish for it. I'm having to unlearn that. I was taught for every time I chose me and what I felt and what I wanted, that was self-centered. That's my conditioning. And now at this big age, I'm having to like revisit that, like, that's why I tend to cower back from what I really want and need. Because I want people to like me. I want people to approve of my behavior and my choices, even if it's not about them and their opinions. Even if the ultimate authority is me, I still am shape-shifting to the expectations of people around me. But is that really self-love? Is that really self-care? Is it self-compassion? It's none of those in action. So much I want to dive into from that, but I'm just going to let that sit. It's none of those in action. Okay. So it's like as you reach these intersections of choice and change, deciding whether or not to honor your truth, it requires you to take courageous right action. Courageous right action. And that word right is very kind of triggering. It's like, what's right? Only you know what's right for you, not what's right for everybody, what's right for you as a starting point. Okay. Doesn't mean we ignore everybody else, but we start with what's right for you. Okay. And for many of you, that's a cycle that needs to end, is that you start with what's right for everybody else, but you got to start with what's right for you. Because when you don't, then now you start holding other people hostage to your failure to be honest. Mm. Mm-mm-mm. Crystal said, we ain't got time for it today. Love it. Thank you for moderating. Self-love starting with myself. Tune into myself. Ashe. Align with care, focus, intentional energy. It's creative energy. Woo! Yes. And just as a side note, if for anyone who is listening to this message right now in real time, or whether you catch it later on a replay, you may want to listen to this one twice. Because underneath all of what I'm describing as these cycles that have to end is I don't know the word. I want to say antithesis. That doesn't feel like the right word to use, but that's the word that's there. It's like as these cycles are ending, what we're not talking about is what begins. Okay, what's beginning as you start stopping yourself, as you start stopping yourself from betraying yourself and dishonoring, discounting, and discrediting your truth. As you stop doing that, a whole new wave of momentum kicks in. Okay. As they say, when we close one door, another door opens. Yes. Okay. So it's not just, oh, I'm not fucking with them. I'm not doing that. And you can't get me. La, 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 la. It's not just that. It's also, next statement, is embodying what you are doing and why. And every time you honor your truth, you elevate. Okay. Nothing is taken away from you. You are elevating. I get that sometimes we have grief and loss experience. People will cut us off because of the way we choose to live our life or decisions that they don't agree with. That is a thing. I've seen it. I've experienced it. I remember telling one of my old college roommates that I was queer, and she cut me right off as if I was attracted to her, which was not even the case at all. Like that was the audacity. That was the audacious part of it. It's like she cut me completely off because she didn't agree with my lifestyle choice. And I'm like, okay. And in the moment, my feelings were a little hurt. Like, well, damn, I thought we was cool. We just lived together for a couple years actually. And then now you don't fuck with me at all. Like, what'd I do? I didn't even do anything. But when people aren't aligned, often they'll remove themselves. They'll take themselves right out of your equation. And I ain't gonna lie, in the moment, we're human. I'm human. Sometimes that shit hurts your feelings. Sometimes it leaves you feeling a little bit confused and unsure and uncertain. Like sometimes it feels real fucking unfair. And it's like, well, damn, if they would just change and accept me or accept this or like support me in this, then everything would be great. But it's like the laws of nature and natural selection is real. part that I hate about these kind of stories is that for some of us, it's our families, it's our parents, might even be our children that decide they just don't want to ride the wave of your decisions or the way that you're moving. They opt out when you start living your truth. And that can be really disheartening. And I ain't going to lie to you and tell you that that shit is easy. But when you're looking at what the exchange is, oftentimes you're worth it. I won't even say it's worth it. You are worth it. Ain't nothing like living a lie. Ain't nothing like it. Because quietly you know your secret truth. And even though you're trying to be palatable to the community and world around you so that you can still find acceptance, you're really facing the ultimate rejection, which is you with you. You with you. Hey, Essence. That's the ultimate rejection, is when you reject yourself. You dishonor and discredit and deny how you really feel or what you really want. You say, she looks at it as a blessing now. Ashe, so do I. I remember when I was dating, it was back before Vic Lee. When I was dating, and I would be dating, trying to date anyway, trying to make love connections on the internet and all the interwebby ways to meet people. Even in real time, in person, you see somebody you think is attractive and you trying to give a little wink, trying to get a little action, and they don't want nothing to do with you. They're not even looking at you. They don't even like your type. My feelings used to be a little hurt. Like, damn, what's wrong with me? I'm attractive. I'm cool. I'm this. I'm that. What's wrong with me? I lived that way for a long time. And I almost remember it to the day when I stopped doing it. It was in December of 2017. Why do I know this? Because I recognize, yet again, I was in a season of transcendence. And I was practicing introspection real hard that at the end of that year. And it's just kind of the spirit of the end of the year and what I'm going to do different next year. But I remember it I very candidly remember it. I said, I'm going to stop dating people that are not aligned. And anybody that don't want me, I can't want them to. Because how would I look wanting someone who doesn't want me? Like, that dishonors and discredits me. I remember deciding that. December 2017. And then I met a soulmate in January of 2018. I mean, it was December 2016, forgive me. 2016. And that January of 2017, I met a soulmate. Yep. And he since passed away, but I met him immediately after. As soon as I decided that I was not going to tolerate things that weren't aligned, things and situationships that didn't honor me. When I decided to let that go, then what came rushing in? Literally, less than 30 days later. It was like just waiting for me to tighten up and get with the program. Stop betraying myself. Stop trying to make myself small to fit in equations that weren't aligned for me. Stop trying to people please my way and perform my way to love and connection and interaction. And it was just like, bitch, stop trying to date these fools that don't have what you need and don't want what you have. Real simple, right? And it kind of was. So, cycle stops here, kids. When we stop betraying ourselves and stop going against our own program, as soon as we stop doing it, we create a pathway for abundance. More of what we do want. More of what we do need. More of what we desire comes right in. but it requires us to be integrous. Yeah. The statement that came to me with that last card, the message of love, was I love you. And say that to yourself right now, quietly. I love you. Say your name if you need to. Allah-mi, I love you. Say your name and say, I love you. If you're in a place, in a position to close your eyes right now, if it's safe for you to do so, close your eyes, speak your name, and say, I love you. Those are the quiet moments that help us to stay aligned with our personal truth. When you speak that power and that authority that love brings, when you say, I love you, inherent in that is a responsibility to care, to act like it. It comes right up behind it. Y'all feel it? I love you. It's like something fills up the cup, literally. And in that acknowledgement, in that self-recognition of your relationship to yourself being rooted in love, not betrayal or sabotage or dysfunction, it's not rooted in people pleasing and other people's validation. Your relationship with you is built in true love of self, true love. We talk about true love, but we're usually talking about somebody else. My one true love. There's nothing that gets realer than having that relationship with yourself. I'm learning every day, steadily, more and more, how to embody that. Not just say it, but embody it, to feel it in body. That's why I encourage you to close your eyes, eliminate distraction for a moment, and just talk to yourself. Be with yourself. The same way you would with a friend, hell, even a stranger. If anyone outside of you was struggling with something, you would probably attend to them with love and kindness and sincerity. True love. So it's a season of really bringing that forth to ourselves, for ourselves. It's a season of identifying yourself as your one true love. The reality is everybody else has conditions. If you don't do this, then I'll do that. That's the reality for everybody. As much as we want to believe our love is unconditional for other people, and it's as unconditional as it possibly can be, there is no greater love that you'll ever experience on this plane than the love that you have for yourself first. Not even your children can tap into that. They may tap into a real big reservoir that's really important and really meaningful and is without many conditions. But that relationship to self, it's the most important relationship you'll ever have in this lifetime, you guys. I can assure you. It drives every other relationship, how you feel about yourself, how you interact or not with yourself, how you care for and express that love with yourself. It drives everything else in your world, everything. So if you're sitting in a place and not able to really connect to that part of your heart and your soul, I encourage you to practice these techniques. Sitting in silence, put your hand over your heart so you can feel your life force and express words of affirmation and admiration to yourself. It doesn't have to be perfect. You may still be working through some levels of unforgiveness with yourself about whatever. It's a process. It doesn't have to be perfect. But the willingness to engage yourself in the process, mm. And what process? Of self-awareness and self-discovery and self-exploration and self-understanding and self-love, self-transformation, and ultimately self-mastery. It is a process that does not require perfection. It requires your practice of it. So I've got one last card, and then I'm gonna pack it up. Man, God is good. I'm really grateful for this message. I'm grateful for this time. Every time my life feels like this, I know I am elevating to a whole new rocket ship. Yeah. And I call it a rocket ship because my life happens in cycles and seasons. And I know what it feels like to be on the apex of a new season. And I feel it. And maybe you feel it too. That certain things have to stop so that other things can start. And as soon as you stop doing the things that dishonor you, the whole path becomes more clear as to how to honor you, how to really hold space for what your truths are and what you really want. And it goes from you wanting it to getting it. Because it really be us that's in the way. What are the steps in the process to self-love, and all the selves would you recommend? Okay, I'm going to say it again. Self-awareness is the first step to self-mastery. The name of the game is self-mastery, not perfection. It's just getting in the habit and the practice of honoring yourself. So it starts with self-awareness. Okay, there's 7 steps to mastery. The next step is self-discovery, meaning pay attention. Oops, of course the card flew way underneath here. Hold on, get it. Okay. Steps to mastery start with self-awareness, which is being aware of how you treat yourself. What is your relationship to yourself? The next step is discovery. Ignore my own, or I whatever come